Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Some more applause, please. Hello, welcome to this week's Monkey Nuts Punch podcast. We're not talking about news because I asked Nigel who Richard Donner was, and he went, "Does he do kebabs?" And I went,
He's the inventor of the kebab elite, right?
The kebab person. Yeah. So we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about films and TV stuff that we watched, and stuff maybe that we feel should watch. So we're going to take a stroll down memory lane and talk about a few things. Nigel's made some notes because I asked him what he watched, and he went, "Oh, I haven't watched anything." And what do you mean I didn't watch anything? I said, you must watch something. So he's had a thought about it, and he's written down the stuff that he has watched. So we're going to go back to the past. I'm going to try and find the oldest one on this, and I think the oldest one on this is the Dukes of Hazzard.
It is, I think.
The Dukes of Hazzard. So let me see if I can find. All I remember with Dukes of Hazzard is they spent every week running away from the authorities. I can't remember what they were doing.
I don't know.
And
all I remember really from that, because my memory is shite. Let's be honest. All I remember from Dukes of Hazzard is their car, bright orange. And they never used the doors. They just slide in through the open windows at all times.
Yeah, sorry.
And they had that like.
Oh yes, the General Lee was the name of the car, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so there's some bits from the Dukes of Hazzard as we're chatting away there. Yeah, you're right. The doors were sealed, so they always went through the windows, and they always jumped over something.
Always jumping.
Just like to point out that the guy in what's his mush? Not Tom's Warpat. This fella here, John Schneider. He was in Smallville.
Oh, okay.
He was Clark Kent's dad.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So yeah, he had that, and it's like it's one of these things I watched as a kid on the afternoon. I can't remember anything. It was just
yeah. For me, this is one of the shows that I used to, if it was sort of on and I fancied a bit of car chase, that's sort of, if it was on, obviously back then you didn't have a planner. So it was just what was on at the time for me. I was never one as a kid to sort of go, right, I must be on it. I must be home at this time to watch this program, because I was never really one to be sitting around watching TV, because I was literally home from school, have my dinner, get changed, and then my mate's knocking for me, or I'm off down my mates and we're playing footy, and that was it.
Yeah,
most of it. But if I'm home and I've just flipped through channels, this would be one of the ones I wouldn't mind watching.
Yeah, it's Malcolm's just commented. He goes, "They're running moonshine, right?" I can't remember if they did run moonshine. I have no idea what they did. All I know is that every week they had to jump over something. That was the way. It's like you had the Flash, whose power was outrunning everything. So every week he'd just run to beat the problem. And their solution was to jump over something. They would jump over something somewhere.
A pre-built ramp.
That would be a convenient placed ramp there, you know. And then that I remember her.
Yeah, actually, I've just Wikipedia'd it. The show is about two young male cousins, Bo and Luke Duke, who live in rural Georgia and are on probation for moonshine running. And he is right. Malco is.
But hang on a second. This isn't 1930s. This is the weird thing, because it's not 1930s. 1930s when all the moonshining was going on. When they had prohibition, was it the 20s? Maybe it's 20s or 20s, 30s, when the moonshine running going on. Because cocktails were invented at that time, because the alcohol they were producing was so crap, it needed to be mixed with something so you could actually consume the damn thing. But I have no idea what's going on there. But I remember Boss Hogg and the two people and the uncle with the big beard and the girl, and that's it. And it's just there, go, oh, we're going to beat the cops by jumping over them. That's all it was.
Just run rings around them and then jump. Yeah.
And it's, I have no idea because I've just got a load of clips from the show playing. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know if they were trying
Yeah,
to. Boss Hogg was a
you just
criminal.
saw the fella. There was a fella there in all white with a cigar. I recognised him.
That's Boss
Yeah,
Hogg. That's the only other character I remember.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember? What do you remember about bloody Dukes of Hazzard? Because I just all I remember there was a creek. There was a creek that they always jumped over to escape because the police would never follow them over the creek.
Yeah.
I remember that when it came to Dukes of Hazzard.
That's clearly why they pre-built that ramp. No, the police never went, oh, do you know what? Let's remove the ramp. They might have in one episode. Who knows? But yeah, it's just a bit of good fun, I think.
God. Okay, all right. So Malcolm's just Googled some bits here, right? This is just Dukes of Hazzard. We haven't gone to any other shows yet. Somewhere between 256 and 321 General Lee cars were created and mostly destroyed during filming. And I know where this destroyed part happened. It's every time it landed. I think canonically they did destroy the General Lee and rebuilt it. But man, it's just it's one of those things I can remember watching as a kid, but I can't remember it, if you know what I mean. I remember the car. I remember that little
and they can't get in through a door. They had to go in through the window.
Yes. I don't know. It's because it was a race car and it had all the structural bits in it.
Yeah. Just that's all I remember it for, the car, really. And it was a symbol of the show.
Yes. Yes, I'll be watching the football tonight. I'm probably going to be late into work tomorrow, but so will everyone else if it goes to plan. But I ain't saying anything. But yeah, no, I remember that. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't remember it enough to be able to talk about it quite comfortably. So I'm going to move on to the next one, which was I think was probably more awesome, and that is Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Knight Rider, I remember. This is the great thing is I remember Knight Rider. Knight Rider was made after Battlestar Galactica, and I loved Battlestar Galactica as a kid because I remember going to play school, and there was a guy called Paul Maguire. We'd put seats out and pretend that we were flying Vipers and whatnot, and trying to fix circuit boards and beat the Cylons. But Knight Rider was made by the same people who did that. And the reason that Knight Rider has that across the front of it is because it was stolen off the Cylons.
Oh, okay.
So it was because the guy was like, "This is just cool. I want it on Knight Rider."
Yeah, kit.
But Knight Rider was. I need to find somewhere it's just got clips. But Knight Rider was bloody cool too. So let me just add this to the.
I used to watch this a hell of a lot more than I did Dukes of Hazzard. This I liked it because to me it had a bit of a storyline, and the car itself was a little bit snarky.
Oh yeah, the car had a bit of an attitude. It was weird that they went right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to get a computer that can analyze loads of stuff. I'm going to put it into a car. So it was going to get this high-speed computer. But I remember one thing because. As a kid, yeah, it was the Knight Rider would have the crap shot out of it. It would have the crap shot out of it, and old Michael Knight, it's played by David Hasselhoff. It would have the crap shot out of it, but it had what they would call shape memory alloy, so you could bend it and it would pop back into shape.
Okay.
Because it would remember the shape that it was. So you damage it and it just spring back into shape. And that was cool. Do you remember the episode where they came and they had the evil version of Kit, which was Car with a K?
Oh, that rings a bell.
And I think between Car and an industrial digger, they managed to destroy Kit. And then a load of street gang, similar to the Fast and the Furious crew, rebuilt Kit and put a load of stuff on him. So this is like nostalgic kind of cocaine. But it was, this is the other thing too, is I saw Kit in the 80s when I went to Universal Studios in California. It's cool because they had the car out there because it was after this TV series had finished airing, and it went out there. I just wanted some bits with the car. Is this the one this is one versus Kit versus a tank. But yeah, because Michael Knight wasn't Michael Knight. Michael Knight was some other fella. Because if you watch the pilot, he was this other geezer, and they surgically altered him to look like David Hasselhoff. I don't know what you call that, Hasselhoff-ectomy. But dude, it was. See, look, it's like it's getting a shit show out of it. Yeah, you've got some kind of armored vehicle here, and Kit versus that. But the funny thing is that when they had Kit driving on his own, you had a guy who would be sitting behind where David Hasselhoff, because they had two cars. They had the car that he would sit in, or the stunt driver would sit in, yeah. And then the car that when it was driving on its own, and it would be a stunt driver, and he'd be sitting just below the door frame with a little camera so he could see where he was driving. Was that turbo boost? He always pressed the turbo boost because he had to leap over things to beat them. From the Dukes of Hazzard school of how to beat a bad guy. It was a case of we'll just jump over him. What the turbo boost outrun them, yeah. But as a kid, that was the shit. Especially if you had like the little Matchbox cars. Yeah, you had those Matchbox cars that you're playing with, and you'd have all you need is a black Pontiac Trans Am, I think it was, because that was Knight Rider. They literally just put the red thing on the front of that. He looks a bit like Hannibal Caine from the A-Team.
Oh, he did. Dude,
It was the shit. It was weird because they removed the steering wheel and they put that wing kind of jobby in there, which I've always found a bit weird. The other thing I liked too was he used to drive it up into a lorry when they were on the road.
Yeah, when they're driving along together behind. Yes,
they drive it up into a lorry. It was man, that was awesome. See, you had that 3-4 o'clock period on a Saturday afternoon before the football results came in, or if the football was on, it would be before that. And they show you'd have Knight Rider. The other one I remember. Do you remember one called Street Hawk?
Street Hawk rings a bell. Not sure what that is.
Let's see if I can find some things of it, because Street Hawk did some. I need to find just. It had some cool bits, because one thing I liked with Street Hawk is Street Hawk had lasers on it, so Street Hawk could do some damage. Now it's a guy talking about Street Hawk. I want Street Hawk footage. Where is that? Street Hawk?
That's a bike, right? Then
it was a bike. They literally went. Knight Rider's a car, Airwolf's a helicopter, Street Hawk will be a bike. So he had some weird suit that he had to get into, because the Street Hawk could go about 500 miles an hour as a bike. And the problem is they speed the footage up to make it look like it was going faster. But because where they were filming, if you had someone walking down the street, they would look like they were running at 300 miles an hour. And he jumped in and out of a sign. Yeah. Was it Jesse Match? Is that his name? Jesse Mack was the name from guy from Street Hawk. Yeah. It only lasted 6 episodes. One of the best ones I remember. It was. Dude, this was good. Matt, as a kid, I was.
That's it. Jesse Mack. January 4th to May 16th, 1985.
Dude, it was. There's a sign.
Oh, okay, right.
You unnecessarily had to jump out of a sign, and then you go into like hyper mode or whatever it is, and this is maybe this is the bit where it happens. But they just speed the footage up, so you see cars doing normal speed. But as a kid, this was great. This is one of these things that I'd watched because it was in that time slot where a Knight Rider and the A-Team, and we'll get to A-Team and Airwolf in a bit. But yeah, you guys, hang on a second. It's just naturally that's how you beat the police. Jump over, use turbo, something with turbo in it. Even Battlestar Galactica had turbo mode for the Vipers, which is supposed to be Afterburner or something similar. So it's just the stuntman showing off. Is it? But yeah, that was awesome. Come on, can we get the bit where he drives really quickly?
Maybe.
Hang on a second. Is this the bit? Because he had lasers on the front. Because you need the other thing, you need turbo, you need lasers. There I go. But You beat the police every time. There you go.
Middle.
That's it. This is like the turbo mode. I'll be honest with you. That was cool as shit as a kid. That was cool. See where the cars are driving roughly the same speed as the bike. So it was. That was the nuts. But yeah, Malcolm's right. It only lasted 6 episodes. I remember being quite disappointed because there were no more after that. But Street Hawk was awesome. And then we had the classic A-Team.
Yeah, BA.
Which I loved A-Team. So I have to.
Yeah, it was another one of those things that I do remember. See, I wasn't an avid watcher, but I did watch it, and it was pretty cool as a youngster. Were they commandos or something, or ex-commandos?
They were right. What it was is they were fitted up for a crime they didn't commit. I'm going to start reading the intro.
I thought you
were a crime they didn't commit. And then what they had to do is they had to escape from the military, so they didn't get thrown into a stockade. The guy who was the producer on it was the bad guy. And it's just, okay. So the only criminal on the A-Team was Face. Yeah. Face was the only criminal because he was a war profiteer. So he would steal stuff, equipment, and sell it. But because these guys were mercenaries, they kind of did the same thing there. So you got George Peppard as Hannibal Smith. Face is the only criminal in the group. Oh look, there's a Cylon. He played Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was produced by the same bit, Dirk Benedict. And I loved Mad Murdoch. He was awesome. As a kid,
he was just a bit nuts.
Yes, him, Dwight Schultz, and B.A. Baracus used to fucking play off each other. Something like two brothers locked in a car on a long car journey. That's the best way of describing their relationship. And right, do you know the story behind B.A. Baracus' jewelry?
No.
I don't know if you know that, but B.A. Baracus' jewelry is all his money. He bought the jewelry because he didn't want to put his money in a bank account because they would take it away. So he carries all his money on him. That's why he wears all the jewelry. That was in the first episode. Never came up after. But yes, so hang on a second. Oh, YouTube clapped my chat. What's YouTube clapped your channel? Oh well. It is fair use. It is fair use. We're not using the what do you call it? I thought it was the email from YouTube. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll carry on. Go England. Yes, go England. What's this? Seventh Samurai Magnificent Seven inspired the A-Team. Also Robin Hood too. Animal was like Robin Hood. That's why I had the disguises and bits in there. The other thing with A-Team is fire guns off left, right, and center. No one got shot.
Yeah, nobody.
No one had bullet wounds. No one was like, because there's no like kind of guys with like holes in their heads and people bleeding out all over the place. Yeah, that was awesome. The other one was Airwolf. Did you ever hear of Airwolf?
No, that's a helicopter though, isn't it?
That was the helicopter one, and the helicopter one had a turbo mode on it.
As it needed.
It seriously, everything was turbo in the 80s. Everything was turbo in the 80s. So it's like kind of Airwolf. Yeah. I was just going to find one for Airwolf. Airwolf intro. So yeah, you had Airwolf because Airwolf was experimental helicopter. And it had, it looked turbo mode. Everything had turbo mode.
Looked cool.
Oh, dude, it was. It was. I can't remember what it was. It was a Bell helicopter, but they fitted it out, and then they used to blow up like model planes / drones on it, and that was cool. The problem is that they would claim that they blow up a certain type of MiG, but they always showed a thing called a Badger, which is a crap MiG, hence the crap name Badger.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you had that.
Was the
All right, hang on a second. Right, see this guy here. I can't remember his name. Where is it? Right, Ernest Borger. Right, there was an interview on some American TV show early in the morning, and he interviews him, goes, "How do you stay so long young?" And that he turns around and goes, "I masturbate lots." He got. I think it's one of those things where he got to the age where he's, I don't give a shit what I say. It's like, what are you gonna do? Fire me? I've retired.
And then from then on, they never got another retired actor in.
Yeah. It's Airwolf was cool. I can't remember much of Airwolf apart from where Street Hawk burst out of a sign. Airwolf burst. There's a hollow mountain, and it would land down in the hollow of this mountain.
Okay.
Which is conveniently the shape of a studio at the bottom. Airwolf. I would love to talk for more about Airwolf, but yeah, it's one of those things. So yeah, we had Knight Riders. I'm just trying to have a look. So what else did we have? Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap was produced by the same guy who did Airwolf.
Was it?
Yes, it was Donald Bizarro or something along those lines. Quantum Leap was a great one.
For me, I used to watch Quantum Leap a lot over at my grandparents' house because they used to like it, and so they introduced me to it when it was on. I'd watch it, and it was probably loads of episodes, almost 100 episodes. Looks like, and it was just the want to know where he's going to end up next for the start of the next episode. That is what the whole thing was like. Who are you going to be this week? And then he'd stand in front of the mirror and find out who he is, and then try and figure out what's going on in their life for him to fix it and make the next jump. And you had this guy. That's not Ziggy. Ziggy's the little computer thing. Where Al.
It was Al. Yeah.
Ziggy's a computer, and then an owl like appearing to him. So then he looks like a crazy person chatting to himself because Owl's appeared in front of him and asking a bunch of questions, and he's like, "Sort of not now, mate." Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent.
It was. The one I liked was the one where they were going to shut the Quantum Leap program down, and he managed to leap back in time and change the judge because this girl failed the test on one question. And it was because I remember because they had sex and she was revising in bed with him. In terms of goes, no, this is the answer. Goes, oh my God, I would have got it wrong if it wasn't for you. And as that's happening, Al standing in front of the Senate committee, and then all of a sudden the quantum leap effect thing happens because time's changed, and the woman's sitting there from where Sam Beckett was, and she turns around and goes, "No, we'll carry it on." And he was like, "Thanks." And it was like awesome. It was yeah, I remember it being cancelled too in '93. I think it was. There was a big hoo-ha about it because something went on where it didn't. It was given a bum rush. They do this thing in the States where they want to cancel a TV show that's popular. They start shifting it around inside the planner. So it's on a Friday night one week, Thursday night the week after, Wednesday, and then it's the viewing figures have dropped, so we're going to cancel it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. Quantum Leap was great. Quantum Leap was really, really good.
But yeah, I did enjoy it. It was. I mean, growing up as a youngster, it was much more difficult to watch the same program week in, week out. Nowadays, we can just stick it on the planner, make sure we record it, and it's there. Before we had to make sure we're in. So it was tough for me, really, because I'm always out. But when I'm in, Quantum Leap was on. Bosh, I watched that.
It was Malcolm. Oh, Malcolm, one of my favourite series, written by the two people who started off the X-Files.
Space Above
and Beyond. Space Above and Beyond. One of the best episodes of TV. I tell my wife about this and she hates me for it. Space Above and Beyond. They had this... what was it? You had the bad guys, which they called the Chigs, yeah, and the Chigs were like this invading alien force that just turned up out of nowhere and started attacking Earth. So naturally, they start fighting back because they start colonizing space and whatnot. And the Chigs invent a new type of fighter, and that new type of fighter, they nicknamed Chiggy von Richthofen after the German ace. And you've got the captain, this Colonel Ty, and Colonel Ty, or was that guy from Battlestar Galactica? Might have got it wrong. Anyway, I'm going to say Colonel Ty for this. Colonel Ty has what do you call it? An ear problem because he was caught in an accident when they first engaged them. And he has to have the thing removed, but he hasn't. His sense of balance is all out, and he just takes out Chiggy von Richthofen in a regular fighter. So the aliens give up on it. Dudes, awesome.
Yeah, see here, Malcolm.
Chiggy. It's because he probably corrected it to Chili von Richthofen. Chiggy.
Yeah, probably has.
It was Chiggy's, but yes.
Going back to Quantum Leap, you said Biffa. Quantum Leap was a big hit in America. Well, I think it was fairly big over here too in the UK.
Yes,
he loved the episode when Sam leaped into a death row prisoner.
I'm trying to remember that one. I remember when he leapt into a monkey. That one stuck out because he swam across a lake and monkeys can't swim. I remember that. Oh,
where he jumps into a woman, and that's fun because he's.
Hang on a second. It's not the death row one. It's the one after, because he gets he gets electrocuted as he jumps, and something goes wrong. And then my brain's ticking. I can remember something. Something was definitely there. I can't remember it all. That might be one worth revisiting. Quantum Leap. What's this one? My parents watched this and they loved the hell out of the Tour of Duty one because it's about the Vietnam War one. 80s. It was kind of after MASH sort of thing, if I remember correctly. It was mid 80s, I think it is. I didn't watch it. My parents watched that and they loved the crap out of it, but they never. I was too young to watch that one. But yeah, that was a good one. We're just having a nice nostalgic chat over old TV shows. Because another one you put on here was Thundercats.
Yeah. To be honest with you, when I was growing up as a kid, I never was really into cartoony sort of things. Yeah. But this would usually be on as I'm getting changed after school. I think it could have been Channel 3. I'm not sure. But they used to have this just when I got home from school about 3:30, 4 o'clock. There used to be like an hour and a half of just cartoon stuff going on. Thundercats, Ho, was always on.
Thundercats,
Ho. Yeah, that was literally the bit that I liked the best when they were just going, thunder, thunder. You know, they're doing different poses.
Yeah,
that was fairly cool. I didn't watch it a huge amount, but I watched it. I remember this intro like yesterday, actually. Pretty cool.
I remember the old mum rolls, the old bad guy. See, the thing it was if I remember, because I remember watching the first episode, and the thing with Lion-O is that they were on some spaceship and they were in stasis tubes, and Lion-O's stasis tube got damaged, so he aged up to about 20 by the time they landed, but he was still only like a teenager in like kind of what do you call it? It's got Peppa Pig on there. Like a teenager as like kind of a mind thing. So that was, and then you had Panthera, who was the dude with the tank. The tank was awesome.
Oh yeah.
The toy for the tank was awesome. Never had it. Really wanted that.
Do you know what? Dude. I think I had that. I think I had the tank. It had two arms that went like that.
Yeah. Yes, it did. With a big mouth on it.
I did get that for a Christmas present one year.
Sorry, Bilford's put one in there. Jeffersons. Jeffersons seems.
Is that a cartoon one? Jeffersons?
No. It's an American sitcom.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have watched a few of the Jeffersons. I'm just going to put the opening title sequence on because maybe I don't
recall this.
Okay, yeah, you can buy the complete DVD box set.
So it used to be for me the Cosby Show, or
the Cosby Show. What else there was Cosby Show? They had the one. We had that tiny kid. Who was a tiny kid
in the Cosby Show?
He was in the Cosby. I no, he wasn't in the Cosby. I might have been going. Oh, clapped again, fair use. Yeah, I can imagine we're probably going to get a ton of. But what we'll do if
They
we
can
do
all
it right,
fight
we'll
each
get.
other. You see.
What we'll do is we'll get copyright deadlock strike. Yeah, justice for. Hang on a second. So let me just see. Hello, Babstar. And there he goes. He says hello back to us. So what was it? It was sorry, yeah, claps go for fair use. Yeah, it is justice for Monkey Nut Punch. I think we need that on a t-shirt. There was a program called Round the Bend. Yep, I remember that. That was the people who did, what was it called? What was that the thing in the 80s? Spitting Image. I can't remember the Jeffersons. I think I may have watched an episode when it comes to that. Arnold from
Oh
Different
yeah,
Strengths.
round the bed. Yeah, I've had to Google it to refresh my memory.
It was the one.
I remember
It was a crocodile, and then they had some like black and white thing with like bananas invading or something.
There's some sort of mouse thing in some sort of hat.
Yeah, because the crocodile always threatened to eat the mouse if you didn't do what he wanted.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, no. I remember seeing this image, but I don't think I ever watched it.
But yes, there was
Just a puppet.
it was Spitting Image. That was the thing. Oh yes, and they had John Potato's news round, which they were taking the piss out of CBB's news round.
Oh, okay.
Which was funny. And then they had the story. Where was the thing? I want to see if they got the. Oh God, yeah, I remember. Oh, the weird, creepy magician. Oh my God, yeah, he's just like terrible things. There it is. Hang on a second. False teeth. That's it. False teeth from the stars. I know. Right. There's a film from the 1960s called Fiend Without a Face, and Fiend Without a Face featured invisible brains that would attack and kill people. Yeah, I am not shitting you. I seriously, and that's what that reminds me of. It was annoying because we used to record like the B movies, and they used to show them on Channel 4 at kind of midnight, 1 o'clock. So we used to record them on Channel 4 and then watch them while eating our breakfast in the morning. Because I think that Saturday morning TV had a period where it just went really shit, and I didn't enjoy it. So we did this, and this is that's a reference to Fiend Without a Face. I'm going to see if I can find that, because the end of that film is mad. I'm going to see if I can find that while we're talking. Fiend Without a Face. There we go.
Well, perhaps it says they did Wee Man and the Masters of the Puniverse.
Yes, I remember Wee Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Is that a real thing, or has he changed that from He-Man?
No. It is. It was Wee Man and the Masters of the Universe. Right, hang on a second. This is Fiend Without a Face. These things are invisible, so I think they dosed them with radiation to make them visible, and then it's when they look out the window, and then you've got the brains outside, and you kind of see the kind of, it's not the greatest quality image there, but you can kind of see it. I imagine that should be out of copyright now. Fiend Without a Face, you should be able to use that fine. So yeah, so we got that one. What was it? 12-year-old humor. Low. Yeah, I can imagine. B5. No, that's a longer conversation. Babylon 5 is a much longer conversation. We're just having a spooge over old things. We might go into more in depth for some of these bits later on. But yeah, Fiend Without a Face. Oh, dude, that was a film. So where were we on the list? We just did Thundercats.
Sort of moving into the 90s.
We're moving into the 90s because this has been all nostalgic. And I went, Nige, what did you watch? Because I can't remember anything. It's like, you must have watched something. I think I watched something.
Programs from the 90s, and I've had a little look through to see which ones I can remember. And to be honest with you, Fresh Prince, watch that all the time. And I love the Fresh Prince. Really did. You know?
It was all right. I can remember being in the States when this aired for the first time in Florida.
You were.
It was around the time Vincent Price died. I remember that. We were staying. Oh God, we were staying somewhere near Tampa, in Florida, and this aired on TV, and I watched it, and I loved it. And it was like, I hope this comes to the UK, and it did eventually. A year and a half later, come to BBC Two, and this is the TV show that made old Will Smith popular. You had, what was it? It was the guy who did it, Quincy Jones. It was based, I think it was based on his life, because he's a music producer, and he moved from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. Because I think it's, I don't know why, but he moved there. Dude, that was magic. I didn't like Monkey Magic. Right, so hang on a second. So we got, all right, so Trapdoor. Do you remember Trapdoor, Nige?
A bit, not much.
Okay, all right, Trapdoor. Then we've got Battle of the Planets is another one. I remember Battle of the Planets. I preferred Jason the Wheeled Warriors to Battle of the Planets. I remember waking up extremely early before I did my theatre club on a Saturday to watch Jason the Wheeled Warriors. God, it makes me feel really old. It was on Channel 4 at 6 o'clock. Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Nice. And then there was the Monkeys. I didn't like the Monkeys. I didn't like the Monkeys. I know lots of people like the Monkeys. I wasn't a big Monkeys first. It didn't really do it. Monkey Magic. My sister talks about this to no end, and I can't remember it whatsoever, because it's based on the Journey to the East book in China, where the monkey god gets captured by some monk and gets and they is like forced to do it. It's a massive kind of epic story. Dinosaurs, yep, I remember dinosaurs. I've got a friend Gavin, loved dinosaurs. Definitely.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Not the mama.
I remember
that was the little baby one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they had like humans around. I remember watching that. That was good. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I loved Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil was the best. I probably liked Uncle Phil more than I liked than what's his Will Smith's character, because Uncle Phil was funnier. Because it was always what was Will Smith's character in that? It was Will, wasn't it? It wasn't Will Smith, but it was Will, wasn't it?
It was Will.
Yeah. And him and Uncle Phil used to just butt heads constantly. And Uncle Phil, yeah.
What I actually it's on Netflix, so you can watch the entire 6 seasons back, and then I think there is also, after the last episode, we watched the reunion thing, where they all went back to the studio. Had a look at the house that was, there, and it was it was great. And there was a bit of controversy, wasn't there, after the first season, because what's her name?
The one who played the mum, Aunt Vivian.
Aunt Viv. She was swapped, and it was
she hated Will Smith.
Apparently, they didn't get on at all, and because of something he said or did, he got her removed. And actually, in the reunion, they have a chat, and you can see, like, it's the first time they'd seen each other since that time.
Yeah,
and he just apologized for what he did. He said, "I was young. I was trying to make my way. I was trying to make a stamp. What I did was totally wrong in saying those things, because it's ruined your career, because it made you out to be difficult, and then nobody would hire you from there." So she had a rough life because of that. But it's 30 years later.
Plus, what do you call it? Will Smith was probably at that, dare I say it, like prima donna phase. He's just made it big. He doesn't know what being big really is.
Yeah,
and
it shows all about him.
Yeah, but then again, that might have shaped him into a better person, because he realized, oh shit, maybe I am a dick, and then that's caused him to.
Looking back, he said he's completely remorseful over that whole thing, that whole situation. They didn't go into too much depth as to what was said and what was, but all we know, she was swapped for the second season onwards. I think it was second season, possibly the third. But yeah, it essentially ruined that lady's career, because she couldn't couldn't carry on, which is a shame, really. But look at the films that Will's done since. His career just went strength to strength. He did loads of music videos. He's done Men in Black and all that sort of stuff, hasn't he? iRobot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's just gone, you know.
He did Wicked with Wild Wild West.
Yeah. Wicked.
Wild Wild West. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. he went through a phase of being in the film, but also doing the intro, like
doing the
song
theme
for
tune.
the film.
Yeah. You had Little Britain where they were taking the piss out of what's his mush, Dennis Wortman. Go sing the theme tune, write the theme tune. It's like, oh, no. They should have done it with Will Smith. Seriously, that would have made so much more sense with Will Smith. Okay, all right. Next one that you got on your list is the X-Files.
Yeah.
I remember the X-Files. I remember the theme. I remember there was a guy called... Yeah, there was a guy called Something Miles who remixed the theme tune.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember that, because that was out. It was like one of those things when CDs were like a thing, and it's like, what the hell's this? I
think we're talking about
I remember
mid-90s now, aren't we? Really?
Yeah. Do you know the worst thing is the person who plays Dana Scully, Gillian Anderson, looks much better now than she did then.
You're right.
She aged well. That's one thing I'd like to do, but I don't think I can.
I think the X-Files is actually on Disney Plus. If you were to go back over and watch it,
I'll have to check that out. I have to check that out. So,
worth a look.
I think these comments go this way round. Third time your channel got clapped. Fair use. I'm Audi 5000. See you next week. Okay. And then, oh dear, 50p a meter. Yeah. So yeah, Gillian Anderson, much better looking now than she was then. That's so strange. This was the time that you had, what was it? Is it Nuts magazine and stuff from the Lads mags, which don't exist anymore?
No, yeah.
That's because I remember she was one of the sexiest people on TV. And she was in, I think it was I'm going to say Nuts. I can't remember. It was Zoo was the other one,
Nuts,
I'm sure.
Loaded.
That was one. Yeah, I'm sure she was voted one of the sexiest people on TV in one of those mags.
She probably was. And it was just, I reckon those votes that they tally up from, it's literally a bloke stands up in the reporting office and goes, right, doing a poll, hands up for this person. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No. This is how I think it goes. Yeah, they have it in a thingy and they go, right, who's better, Gillian Anderson or X? Yeah, and then they turn around and goes, Gillian Anderson. Okay, so who's better, B or Gillian Anderson? And they go, Gillian Anderson, and then they just do it like that, like a playoff sort of thing.
Yeah, knockout situation.
And then they just keep doing that. It's an evening of doing that. Next one you got was I didn't like this, but lots of people did, including you and Wide Boy, I call him. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You see, I sort of remember. I didn't watch it all the way through. I think didn't Ben used to watch this? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I will tell you something about Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the police in a moment. But yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Do you know what the funny thing is the people who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the production crew, were going to do Doctor Who, the American version of Doctor Who. So all of those people, they were like, no, we're not doing Doctor Who. Okay, we'll find something else. And they did Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's just a weird, a little nugget of information there. Because I think it was somebody, I can't remember, it's something Davies. But I didn't get on with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. All right, people could enjoy things, but it was my disbelief of the fact that a 70-pound girl could beat up a 200-pound man.
Yeah.
That was the thing that kind of got me with that. I watched the Angel series I think watched all like the third season when it was on Sky. I watched that. That was pretty good. I tried to get into it. I couldn't get into Buffy. I really couldn't get into Buffy. I know people like Buffy. All right. Here's my little secret, right? Yeah. Back in the late 90s, if the police wanted to check if you were a someone dodgy with children, shall we say? Yeah.
Okay.
They would check your DVD collection, and if you had Buffy and Voyager,
Yeah.
then they would check a little deeper. And that's all I'm saying. Keith like Buffy, I'm just saying. Didn't have the box set. Didn't have any box sets though. So it was one of those things. It's like, really? It's like, yeah. So it's like, okay, fair enough. That's interesting. So tell me what you remember about, because this is where I go.
No, you see, the thing that I remember most about Buffy was the fact, well, she was apparently meant to be one of these, just a normal high school student. And when I was watching it, I was also at school. But then she got whisked into this whole vampire slaying thing. And then she met Cordelia, who I preferred Cordelia.
Who's Cordelia? Is she the brunette?
Yeah.
She's the brunette. She's the one who's older than the others. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, she was much better. I'd be spending my time with her. I would be spending my time with her, not with Buffy. It's dangerous around you. I might get laid over here. That's how I thought about it as a young man. Yeah,
and I think she moved from Buffy into Angel as well. She was an Angel.
Yes, she was an Angel. Yeah,
because Angel was the Angel. Yeah. I caught a few episodes of that just purely because she's in it. Otherwise, it was just the same sort of plot each week, wasn't it? There's vampires to kill. Cool, let's go. And essentially, that was it. That's my memory of Buffy.
That's your memory. Vampire. Oh, I remember it had the guy from Deep Space Nine who played the Ferengi Armin Zola. Then that's the bloody bad guy from Winter Soldier.
What they also had,
Quark in it.
They had a vampire who was sort of friendly. I can't remember his name, but
Spike.
Yeah, and the actor played Adam in Heroes. Do you remember in Heroes? I'm sure it is. Either they look the same or what, but do you remember Adam in Heroes? Adam.
I'm sure Adam was ginger though.
No.
Adam in Heroes was ginger. I remember because ginger people stick out to me.
In Heroes.
I'm having a look. I'm Googling.
In Heroes, do you remember Hero was told of the story of this ancient samurai warrior?
Oh my God.
But it turns out he was Adam. Am I wrong in the right?
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it's the same actor, but I'm going to show you a picture. Yeah, they look similar, but I'm going to show you what he looks like. I'm going to show you what it looks like now. This is Adam from Heroes, because it was another TV show that we watched. I'll show you what it looks like now. Yeah. He's our age.
Is he?
That's not a great picture. He's our age, and he looks like that.
I thought it was it's not quite.
You're thinking of it was Spike.
I can't remember his name. Yeah, Spike. I thought it was the same guy.
Let's give away what we're talking about next. Oops, sorry. Yeah. No, it was. Oh my God! Just remembering all those other TV shows. So yeah, you had that. Heroes was another one that we watched. I remember.
Heroes was 2000 onward, wasn't it?
I remember sailing the high seas for Heroes and converting them to DVD so everyone could watch. And those DVDs went around our office quite a bit. I was probably responsible for so many people watching Heroes. It was ridiculous. Just using, stuff that Black Bellamy would do and Calico Jack sort of thing.
There was no money changed hands. It's all fine.
Yeah, no money changed hands. It was like, you need to watch this. It's really good. Because I think you were the one who got me into it. Because you were like,
I told you about it.
Because you were telling me about this.
I was playing Dark Age of Camelot, and one of the guys I knew said, "I've seen a trailer of this program that looks like it could be something." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Well, essentially, you've got a schoolgirl. She goes to the top of the tower. She jumps off, hits the floor, and she's dead. But she's not. She regenerates herself, stands up, and then looks into the camera and talks to the camera to say, 'This is attempt number.'"
Yeah.
And
that's how you sold it to me. When
and
you
I was
started
like,
watching it.
right, okay, I've got to keep an eye out for this. And I told you about it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and then then they had the writers' strike and it ruined it.
It ruined it.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get writers' strike. Okay, all right. So let's go on to our last one that you've got on the list here, because you did put quite a decent list together, and it's Friends. My problem with Friends is coupling's better, and I know coupling's better because I showed you a couple of clips and I pissed myself laughing remembering the episode. That's how funny it was.
Yeah, for me,
I don't think there's a comedy
I hadn't
series.
seen coupling. I mean, I think it was Friday nights or something. This would be on. If I wasn't going out, I'd watch Friends. And yeah, it's the sort of shit that you and your mates would get up to. So everyone's got like one of those mates that's a little bit dumb, like Joey. You got one that's dead sarcastic, like Chandler, haven't you? Like you're just relating it, and that's why it's all on. That's why I put this on my I remember that shit list. Yeah. And there's the famous thing where they're taking a sofa upstairs to the flat and it's pivot, and he's going nuts. Ross is going nuts, and it's great because it was a flow. Like each episode did sort of lead on to each next episode, and there was a long plot line throughout, which usually in sitcoms it's just this has happened this week, like most sitcoms. But there was this underlying thing progressing through, which I quite liked. But now you've shown me a couple of clips before we started today about coupling, which I hadn't seen before, and you've told me it's the English Friends, and it's written by Steve Moffat, who does like a bit of escalation in a story.
He's a plotter. He is a plotter, dude. I have to find them now. I might go downstairs and just buy them on Amazon Prime just so I can watch the first series, because some of the things in there, it's just ridiculously. It's like kind of, you've got Susan and her ex-boyfriend, and her ex-boyfriend apparently videotapes where these like sexual encounters. So they go back to, so they know if there's apparently there's a tape of those two having her girlfriend and her ex-boyfriend having sex. Yeah. Right. So they go back to the house. Yeah. To watch it. And she's like, kind of, you destroyed the tape. Yeah. And she goes back to his house and he answers the door and he goes, you didn't, you definitely destroyed the tape. And he goes, yeah, I definitely destroyed the tape. It doesn't exist anymore. And it's called Patrick's Cupboard of Love, I think they call it. And it's full of VHSs. That's how old this TV show is, yeah? And as he's saying, I've definitely destroyed the tape, Steve, the boyfriend, runs out and he goes, she never lets me do that. I'm laughing just thinking about it. I'm going to have to watch it because it was, oh man, I remember... this such a good show. I'm gonna have to get you to watch it and we'll have to review it. I'm gonna see if I can find the DVD secondhand, anything, anywhere, and send them to you, because I think it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That and another TV series that Stephen Moffat did called Chalk. And Chalk was about a deputy head at a school. And this deputy head just manages to screw up everything so colossally. It was ridiculous. There was one where his wife's gynecologist has come in and he's giving some photos back to her because he used it for a lecture and he didn't feel comfortable keeping them or destroying them. But he tries to be polite to the husband and tells them that the dental pictures, yeah? So he goes, these are really funny. And the RE teacher at the time is having a crisis of faith, because someone in the school, and I think it's the deputy head, has told him that he's the devil. And because he's told him that he's the devil, the children all of a sudden really like him. Because he can apparently get stuff that no one else can. I'm going to have to go and watch Coupling. I'm going to have to find some way of getting you to watch Coupling so we can talk about it, because it is a really good one. Wee Man. We talking about Wee Man.
Okay.
So this
Outside,
is
castle up your jumper. Wee Man and the evil skeleton face. Prepare for battle.
You cannot defeat me, puny wee man. I have an army of invincible allies with special powers, including the mighty skunk bat.
Who? I too have brought powerful friends. Meet my cousin, Sheep Ra, the woolly wonder.
3 heads are better than 1, so I have enlisted Sir Bonsalot.
I want to be on Wee Man's side. No, you don't.
Cringe before the power of Poodleoid, my loyal battle hound, along with Birdbrain and Rockbottom.
And here comes my crony breadhead on his terror toaster. He uses his love.
Ah, he always pops up when you don't want him. Our armies are assembled. This will be a mighty battle.
We are eager to defeat you, puny do-gooders.
Very well. Let the Blow Football Tournament commence.
Hurrah! Don't miss our next episode when
yeah.
Dear.
It was silly toilet humor. It was great. Anyway, I think it's time we wrap this trip back through nostalgia up. I'm now gonna try and root around to try and find coupling. I think we might have the 3rd season on DVD somewhere, which means it's in the loft. Shit. But I'm just Spank Man.
It does look like people are selling the DVD complete season, complete 1 to 4, or for £4.45
Where?
on Amazon.
On Amazon, I'm going to buy that now.
Yeah, but it's people. It's not Amazon themselves.
That's fine. I will buy it secondhand from somebody. I'll disinfect it and send it to you. That's what we've got here. Complete season 1 to 4. Oh, Emerson. Do you remember Emerson?
Yes.
I introduced him to that, and he agreed that it was the funniest thing he ever watched. So I'm going to buy this, and then I'm probably going to go and watch it. What's it? £6 in total. That's bought. That has been bought. I have just put that in my basket. I hope you weren't trying to buy that.
No.
But it's just that I think it's just the cleverness of it. You know how Stephen Moffat likes to kind of spread a story out and put little side things in there, and it all kind of accumulates at the thingy. So yeah. I am buying that now. That is, let me just make sure I'm not using my credit card. Yes, it said the fucking credit card. I don't want the credit card. Debit, please. Use this payment method. It's all right. Oh, actually, no, it's all right.
You've joined us live for buying on Amazon.
But I'm buying on Amazon. Yeah, I bought it, Nige. I will lend it to you after I finish watching it. But
watch it all and then yeah,
and then you can watch it. But it's cheaper than buying the on-demand version from Amazon. So I will get the second-hand version.
It is, isn't it?
But I will say on that note, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
For the guys thank you for contributing. For those who have contributed, thank you for listening. For those listening on the podcast, bit of a different one this week. Keith is I don't know, sunning his balls somewhere. But yeah, it was.
Or
we
dipping them in
something.
water. I don't know.
Yeah, I wanted to do something a bit different. I wanted to do something a bit more funny, and something more appealing to Nige, because it's all about engagement. Nige would be like, if I tell him the news stories, he'd be like, yeah. So what?
There's not my sort of thing. News stories of TV and thing, but I like this. This is good. And if you've enjoyed this, send us a message. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, bloody YouTube. Send us a message if you want this done again. Maybe list out your top 10 or whatever, and we can go through those.
Nige, we're doing coupling next. Bought the DVD. We'll work out what we're doing after that. We'll work out what I've already decided.
That's a message to say, right, this is my list. Just send us a message. Give us your list. Give us your list from when you were a childhood. Tell us what you watched. Tell us what you watched in your teen years. Bring back the memories. Let's do it. Let's go.
And it's weird when it comes back, all of a sudden your memories start flooding back to you. I remember this.
Yeah, I mean,
this is.
That's exactly what happened.
keep me quiet while it was before serving me dinner. So it's like, just watch TV while I make dinner. That's all right. So I'd watch TV for 40 minutes before she made dinner.
We were chatting on the phone before. I was like, I can't really remember. And then we got off the phone. I started having a little look at what TV shows were around. And that's when I started to remember. But just do it. Have a little look. Bring back those memories and let us know about them.
Yeah, the other one I want to get is Space Above and Beyond, 'cause that's a good one. I liked that. That was good. And on that note, I think it's time we say goodbye. So goodbye, Nige.
Goodbye, Nige.
And we will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. I've just checked to see if there are any whaling reports, if Keith has actually made it into the ocean, and the Japanese have decided to study him for scientific purposes.